Welcome. That was the Joker's music from the Batman the Animated Series. Now, hello, Bonux. Hello there. Burnout. Hello there. So, today, let me be your today or tonight's entertainment. My name is Snickers. So, apparently, we're talking about clowns. And not only talking about clowns, we're also talking about some other interesting things. Tell me, ladies and gentlemen, what's the difference between pink Himalayan salt and blood? Well, according to some Christians, there's no difference between pink Himalayan salt and blood, apparently. So we're going to get into that subject. And it's going to be a bit of a fun one, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, or today or tonight. It's going to be a fun little dig at these crazy Christians who believe that all clowns are demonic. And if we deal with the Joker and stuff like that, yeah, there is some cause for concern when it comes to certain clowns. Like we had Pennywise, we had the Joker, and we did even have a real life serial killer who actually painted his face as a clown. So there is a little bit of a thing for that. But to be honest, some of the things they say about clowns, I seriously doubt the validity and some of the stuff they've been saying about them, like them being tied to Nephilim, which is supposed to be like a angel / god / demon like creature. And saying that Nephilims basically had white faces and had red mouths like clowns, and trying to tie in the whole Joker-like persona to Nephilim. So that's going to be interesting. I really don't see how that can actually work, but here we are. So let's go check this out, shall we? So about sea salt and clowns and Nephilim. Alrighty. And this is coming again from this lovely individual known as Marcus Dixon. Now, I've already discussed this crazy Christian on multiple occasions. He is a bit of a Looney Tune. He believes all sorts of crazy beliefs that believes it's everything's demonic. You know, he believes this guy's kind of a guy who believes that everything's demonic. And I seriously doubt that concept that everything is demonic. I think that's a bit of a crazy concept to come up with, that everything that's a bit strange, popular, or in society as being that kind of way of thinking. But actually, I think I will put myself back down to being the normal size. There we go. And we'll see what this guy has to say. But there's a lot of things here I totally disagree with, but yeah. Got the captions on. So let's go check this dude out now. He's checking out these other crazy Christians on TikTok who claim that, concretions are actually mud fossils. There's also that talk about too. If you shout out to Mud Fossil University with Roger, the concept of actually some of these things being tied to giants, like these things looking like these concretions looking like giant toes, these sort of rock formations that look like toes. But here's the thing: there's a thing called pareidolia, where some people actually believe what they're seeing. They actually look into things and see something more different, but what things really are. But we'll get into that. Let's go.
I ended up down a Nephilim rabbit hole, guys, and I didn't expect to find half of what I found. And I want to share it with you guys, just in case you weren't aware of this stuff either.
And I know, this only look like big toes sticking out of the grass. Big toes. Yeah. I think you're walking on.
Really look at the size of that. Can you guys? Okay, low key, high key. I feel like we are living in a graveyard of giants. I fully believe that those mountains that we see are petrified giants. You know, the ones that literally look like faces. Like it's undeniable that they look like faces. Now, that begs the question. I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think that pink Himalayan salt is the flesh?
And here comes the nut part of the conversation. Pink Himalayan salt is basically the blood remnants, well, basically dried out blood of giants. Are you serious, lady? No. It's a mineral. Right, salt's a mineral. Yes, while the human or even blood does actually contain some traces of salt in it, it's not nearly enough to harvest. Well, let's go with what people say about salt here. I've actually just collected a bit of information here. Let's see. Where was it? Here we go. Is there the same? Is there the same amount of salt and blood as in the ocean? No. Human blood has approximately 0.8% salt. Seawater is approximately 3% salt. So there's far more salt in the ocean than in the human blood. So to be fair, while yes, human blood can actually crystallize and become like a salt-like substance, it's not salt. It's a completely different concept. Hey, Dorcetto. Yeah. Anyway, let's get back into it, shall we?
Of giants, and that's why they're pushing it so much. I know that sounds so crazy, like tinfoil hat theory, but
yeah, it is.
But the way that the pink Himalayan salt is on the inside of a mountain and it oddly resembles human flesh, like muscle mass, it's really crazy. A lot of people say that it's true.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't. But anyway.
True because of the way they put it in plain sight in Moana when Te Fiti turned into an island. I don't know, y'all.
Again, first and foremost, you do realize from a Christian perspective, well, first off, from a Christian perspective, you do understand a lot of the things that's seen in Moana are from a lot of the religious icons and religious concepts as far as being a lot of Tahiti and Hawaiian beliefs and Hawaiian religion, right? Like some of the stuff that's in Hawaiian culture and religion. So, how's that apply to being a form of Christianity? Because according to Christianity, we do not associate ourselves with other religious beliefs. So, you can't really say why are we even as Christians pandering this idea or pushing this idea that yes, this is that sea salt, a pink Himalayan salt, mainly like this one. So to be the blood remains, basically blood remnants of, the giant gods that turn into mountaintops. That makes no sense. You know, as Christians, we should not be following the same path as of the world. I mean, it says in Scripture, we are supposed to be in the world, but not of the world. So that means a lot of the customs and religious beliefs of the other religions and other cultures, we as Christians are not supposed to follow them, or we're not supposed to give credence to or give a form of credence, give some sort of like authenticity to some of those things, because us Christians don't believe in it, you know. That's racist. You can't say that. That's racist, Donko. But again, I wouldn't say it's a genetic thing. I'd say it's probably the way she's been brought up and the way she's been taught. Because in many cultures and many religions, they've been taught so many different beliefs and things. It's not really about their skin color per se. It has more to do with what they've been taught and what they've been brought up with. A person of white color can be living in Tahiti or living in Hawaiian Islands, and they may adapt their beliefs around their culture. So even white people can actually adapt to cultures of not white people, if you get my drift. So it's not exactly about race, it's more about what people are being taught, if you know what I'm saying. So to say that it's not about, it's not really about their skin color per se. It's more about what they've been taught and what they believe. But I wouldn't put it down and say it's because of their skin tone or their skin color. That's what they believe. No, it's what their parents have been taught them, or what their society or their group has led to believe through religious or cultural practices. So take that here and all there, or it's something that they believe in themselves personally, which may not even correlate with anything that has been taught either. So you've got to hold that into perspective. A lot of people have their own ideas and thoughts as well. So maybe something they've been taught, or maybe something that they personally believe of their own nature. Anyway, let's get back into it, shall we?
Could be crazy, could be kooky, but you tell me what you think. As always, make sure you like and follow and comment down below if you want a part 2.
Okay, well, she's going to do a part 2. Maybe this guy's going to cover it. But I would say no, absolutely not. The Himalayan pink salt is not a remnant of blood from giants. Absolutely not. Nah, not even. But anyway, let's continue.
A lot of these comments are talking about this pink Himalayan sea salt.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Aaron Page do a video on this, I don't know, maybe a month or two ago, and I didn't really think anything of it, right? But man, some of these comments are just crazy. This person says, pink Himalayan salt. Yes. This person says, I just bought a bag of pink salt, just wanted to try it. I'm rethinking it. It all comes from Pakistan. Oh my God, thank you for confirming, I guess. I don't know what Pakistan has to do with anything.
Okay. First of all, it could be a racist thing. But I think where he's coming from is the idea of giants coming from Pakistan as well. Like a lot of these giant gods and, these giant peoples. Oh, by the way, that's another thing too. Well, okay, we'll get into that in a minute. But, I'll shut up. Come.
Every time I put Himalayan salt on my food, I get nauseous. This person right here says, me eating pink Himalayan salt on my pasta as I'm washing this. But that's not it, though. This isn't even the weirdest part of it. Well, I mean, I guess that's really weird, but this isn't all I found, guys. Everyone's saying that the Nephilim look like clowns, so that's where we get today's modern clown from, or the scary clowns like It, or Heath Ledger's version of the Joker.
The Joker! Yes, of course. But here's the kicker. Clowns were never meant to be designed as a form as thing. It's supposed to be a form of entertainment. Yeah. I heard the pink Himalayan salt is really good for feeding yeast. Yeah. I wonder if it would happen for women. I can't say that, but yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I wonder. That's a Dorco. It would be interesting to do a test and do a study about that. That would be an interesting concept now, wouldn't it? To find out what pink Himalayan salt can and can't do. Although that being said, there has been traces to pink Himalayan salt saying that while it does have health benefits, it also does have a lot of non-health benefits, such as raising high blood pressure and things like that. But anyway, let's continue.
Watch these guys.
This is Krusty and the Joker, Ronald McDonald, the clown from the It movie.
No, wrong. Bam, wrong. First he's got the three characters wrong. That is a Krusty the Clown style hairdo, but that's actually supposed to be representation of actually three different separate clowns. One was the clown from movie. I'm trying to think of the name. Spawn, like a Spawn clown makeup with the blue eyes, the blue eye face paint. That's supposed to be reminiscent of the clown from Spawn. And the hairstyle, again, I'm not sure if that's like the one from also, again, Spawn as well, or if it's actually Krusty the Clown. But Krusty the Clown does have that hairstyle as well. But no, as you can see with the purple jacket, the purple glove, and the orange jacket with the green, and that's more in close with the Joker persona, right? But that's a combination of three different clowns, and that's due to the fact of it being this whole image being created by AI art. Okay, first of all, to address that. Second of all, this is supposed to be more reminiscent of the Joker more than Krusty the Clown or that clown from Spawn. Now we come over to the other side here. Yeah, that's a representation of good old McDonald's with the good. Hi, I'm Ronald McDonald. You know, the Ronald McDonald character. And then we have, now we have different voices for this one, namely Pennywise. Now there's there's actually two different versions. We have the good old classic, I think it was Bill Murray, I think it was, wasn't it? Bill Murray? I have to look it up. But you have the and that's really good. Yeah, that very much clown voicing. That guy. I think it was Bill Murray who did that, or there was that dude. And then we also had another guy who did in the Netflix TV movie series who had a more rather interesting kind of voice that sounded more like a Yoda kind of thing going on. With Pennywise. So there's actually that's actually more based on the current version of Pennywise, where basically he had these like on the from the streaks of his mouth, the lines going up between his eyes. The original Pennywise actually looked more clown-like and didn't actually have those streaks going through the eyes. But you know, and I'm pretty sure as well, Ronald McDonald doesn't have those streaks going up above his eyes either. But you know, so again, first of all, dude, you're addressing AI artwork, all right, for starters. So these are just depictions of Pennywise, McDonald, and of course basically a combination of like the clown from Spawn and Krusty and the Joker. But it's mainly supposed to be a representation of the Joker. But anyway, continue.
Now, what do all these three things have in common? They're all clowns. So in this book, The Nephilim Look Like Clowns by Paul Staub.
Yeah.
He describes that they are actually references back to the ancient Nephilim. In his view, their appearance for dominion with modern dark circus imagery reflected this ancient predatory history.
Oh, God.
So they are described as having pale skin, white or pale skin with red hair, sometimes 6 fingers and 6 toes. They had a ghoulish face, which is why in today they paint these clowns.
Here's the thing. The Bible never actually stipulated what kind of hair color Nephilim have. And the 6 fingers and the 6 toes, that's not even Nephilim. That's you're an idiot. Take the L, you idiot. First and foremost, the 6 fingers and the 6 toes was actually deplored to the actual giants. That was David, basically like Goliath and his people, which was the Philistines. I'm pretty sure, wasn't it the Philistines? That was David and Goliath's people. Weren't they the Philistines? Yeah. So, like I said, the concept of they were actually the Philistines. They had the 6 fingers and the 6 toes thing. That was actually the Philistines. Okay, that was not Nephilim. There's never been a mention in the Bible saying that Nephilim had 6 fingers and 6 toes. That's completely bullcrap. I'm sorry, that really is. That's not a thing. I agree with you. I totally agree with you, to Cordio. I do definitely agree. But again, that's not a thing.
With these type of faces that have a permanent smile on them. In addition, they have these huge lips with red on them. Now,
Okay. I'll get into the explanation of that, but let's hear this guy's explanation for this.
in the old times, when they were actually walking the earth, their face was red because they were filled with blood. And guess what they ate?
Yes.
In Enoch chapter 7, verse 1 through 6, it says, and all the others together with them took unto themselves wives, and each chose for himself one, and they began to go in unto them and to defile themselves with them. And they became pregnant, and they bare great giants whose height was 3,000 ells, who consumed all the acquisitions of men. And when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. Guess what their appetite was for? It was for humans.
Yes.
Their mouths were red because they ate humans.
No. Okay. Let me clear this up once and for all about this misconception. All right. Oh, here we go. Now, the whole idea about clown makeup. So we're getting into the sort of jokerish kind of thing. Now, the reason for the giant red smile isn't because they took the blood of their enemies and smeared it across their face. That is not a thing, okay? First and foremost, the idea of clowns using red face paint or food coloring or whatever, the concept of that was actually based on the reason why they got a red nose. Why do clowns have red lips and red nose? Well, one part you said was absolutely correct. It's supposed to be filled with red blood. If you have a look at lips, they're actually filled bright red or bright red pink, as you can see. The concept is you are correct. These things are filled with blood. That's a known give thing. If you cut yourself there, you have a lot of going everywhere. Agreed. But here's the kicker. The reason why there are rosy red lips and a rosy red nose for clowns, get this, ladies and gentlemen, is supposed to be part of the homeless clown spiel. Now, what's the homeless clown spiel, you may ask? Well, there's actually a few different type of clowns, you see. There's a whole lot of different clowns in different setup of clowns. First, we have the first clown, which is just the Pierrot, or the white face clown, which is just a pure white face clown. And that was supposed to symbolize like a superiority. That's supposed to be the Pierrot white face clown is the like a superior clown. It's supposed to be like a superior thing, right? Then we move down the list of clowns, and the one specifically that has the red lips and the red nose is mainly associated with the tramp or hobo clown. Now, the reason why the tramp or the hobo clown has a red nose and red lips is because they're supposed to be representing a drunk person. It's what they call a where is it? Where is it? I had it. Listen here. Where are we? That's about salt. There we go. That's no, that wasn't it. Where was it? Yeah, here we go. Basically, apparently the reason why the red nose is that over time, regular alcohol use causes changes in the face, like a dull red or dry skin that appears like veins around the nose and creates puffiness around the eyes and the nose. So that's where you get the red nose idea from. It's supposed to be like a form of the alcoholic face, the red nose and the bloodshot eyes and that, right? So yeah, so the appearance of I think they call it rhinophthalmia, which is supposed to be a large swelling in the nose and has been associated with alcoholics, often being referred to as drunker's nose. So that's the reason why you got the big red nose. So the idea of the big red nose and the big red lips, maybe some of those crazy paint around the eyes, so they make them look like bloodshot or like that. It's supposed to be, and also even the rosy cheeks, all that stuff is supposed to be like a symbol of being like a drunk person. Now, why do clowns look like drunk people? Well, the concept around drunkenness is people act like a fool when they're drunk. So it's supposed to be like the sense of looking like a drunk person to make people laugh and be entertaining, be all over the place while looking like they're drunk. It's supposed to be part of a comedy skit or a comedic skit where you have this drunk person, like I said, this homeless person or a drunk person going, yeah, oh, hell, another drink, and acting like a complete and utter fool and a buffoon and like a clown when they're drunk. So that's the reason why. That's my version of the origin story of reason why you have the red nose and the red lips and sort of like this really weird like eyeshadow and stuff when it comes to clowns. It's supposed to represent someone being drunk. That's the concept, I believe. Part of the hobo clown thing. That's the reason why I believe that's the way it is. It's not supposed to be a form of like we're eating babies and we're eating children and we're eating adults and we're drinking their blood and we're marking the mark of the blood around our face to show everyone we eat people. Blah! No, that is not a thing. That is so not a thing. Hello, Teruz. Teruz? Is that him saying? Yeah, at least your government can get down for starvation. Ha ha ha. Yeah. Yeah. Well, who knows where the first clown was? But I think there was we're getting into that where clowns first come from. But you are correct though about being in a pub. This is what I'm saying. The concept of looking like a drunk person is part of the whole clown persona. The red nose and the red lips and the weird looking paint around the eyes. It's supposed to look like bloodshot or like dark eyeshadow. The concept of I said like the sort of bluish eyeshadow, something similar we got going on here, but sort of like a sort of weird eyeshadow going on. Mine's from lack of sleep, but for sometimes some drunk people also have that as well. That sort of eye shadowy stuff that goes around the eye. So that's where that's coming from. That sort of eye stuff. Mine's from lack of sleep, but some people have that from lack of sleep too. But the reason why they have it on clowns is supposed to represent for someone being drunk. Anyway, let's continue.
And not only did they do that, we show them to the public now. Isn't it funny that we had that question about what Ronald McDonald did?
Oh, here we go.
Now, you may or may not have seen that question that popped up on the screen where it says, where are they getting all the beef from? Now, there's another video on Nick Keswani's channel where they're talking to a rabbi, I believe, that owns beef farms. And they do these rituals, and it's people that they're taking to these meat houses and they're grinding them up and selling them to the fast food places.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. Was that the clown dude? Was that the serial killer clown dude? I'm not sure. Don Janai. Wasn't that the clown serial killer? I'm not sure. Was that the thing? I don't know. But back to this thing here about McDonald's. Da-da-da-da. Now, a concept. There's a big conspiracy theory about McDonald's at present, saying we have all those beef patties, yeah. So the concept is there's not enough beef. There's not enough cows in the world to sustain the market for McDonald's. So where in the heck are they getting all their meat from to make their burgers? Now, some people are speculating that they're grinding up human meat and passing it off as beef. But that's not the case. That's not a thing. No, McDonald's doesn't grind up humans, doesn't grind up babies and serve them in a patty and serve them to people. No, that's not a thing. I believe there was even a study to see what they actually found. Actually, good question. So the question remains: how much beef is actually in a McDonald's patty? And they found it was around about 1.1 ounce, basically 30 grams of meat patty was discovered in a McDonald's hamburger. So yes, it does actually contain 1 ounce of pure beef. There you go. So yes, there are enough cows in the world, and yes, there is enough cow meat out there. So with all these conspiracy theorists saying they're grinding up humans to turn them into burgers because we're loving it. No, that's not a thing. That is not a thing. That's just a bullshit statement to try and create by conspiracy theorists to say that McDonald's is unhealthy food and they're grinding up children and babies and humans and stuff like that to put into their meat patties. It's absolute bullshit. Nothing real about it. Yeah, I might have to do that at some point as well, Perry. Indeed. So hello, Perry, and yes, I might need to do that at some point. So that's the concept there. That was the conspiracy theory, the tinfoil hat, if you were. The concept of that actually human babies or human meat was actually being ground up and turned into meat patties and being sold in McDonald's burgers because they couldn't fathom how come, where's all the beef coming from McDonald's, considering there's McDonald's all over the world, there should not be enough cows out there to sustain the population for meat. However, here's a kicker. When you're talking about breeding cows, you're actually breeding cows to actually get killed off anyway. That's part of the dairy and meat industry anyway. Because you've got dairy for the cows, for the milk, and then you have to put that in as well. Yeah, we have to cover that one at some point too. So yeah, Perry, do that, and I'll definitely have to do that in another video coming up. But like I said, back to this thing about the whole clown McDonald's. No, I'm a big supporter of McDonald's. Shout out to McDonald's. You know, I'm loving it. So go support McDonald's. So yes, McDonald's. I'm a big fan of McDonald's. I mean, obviously that's clear that I'm a fan of McDonald's. Look at the size of me. Mind you, though, to be fair, here's a fun factor: the Super Size Me tutorial to say how unhealthy McDonald's meals are is absolute bullcrap, because the guy who was actually doing the Super Size Me thing, he already been suffering issues with alcohol. So a lot of his liver damage and stuff like that is in the documentary about eating unhealthy junk food, unhealthy being air quotes junk food. Because let's face it, you know, let's talk about McDonald's for a second. You have the patty, you have the bit of bread at the bottom, then you have the bit of cheese, then you have the patty, then you have lettuce, tomato, onion, tomato sauce, and the mustard and all the stuff piled on top of another piece of thing. It's actually like a sandwich. So if we think about the burger being like a sandwich, is it actually not healthy, or is it actually healthy? Think about it. You got all these things that are healthy: lettuce, tomato, onions, pickles. Even meat itself technically is a healthy thing. So how is a burger not healthy? I think it might have something to do with the oils and the sugars in the bun and the oils, like the vegetable oils that they use to cook the patties, perhaps. But overall, I don't really see why burgers can be considered junk food, because they really technically shouldn't be classed as junk food. Same as like a normal sandwich is not actually, like a salad sandwich isn't classed as a junk food, is it? You know, I mean, it's weird. The culturalisms around burgers being junk food. The only thing I can think about it is, like I said, the salts and the oils that they've been cooked in. But then there are other healthier options of oils and stuff they can actually cook them in. So, anyway, so that's a little bit of a rant about McDonald's and this whole conspiracy theory that they're actually eating babies or eating human flesh. No, that's not a thing. It's a stupid theory by conspiracy theorists.
And they're selling them to McDonald's, especially. And so the comments right here says, So, like, is McDonald's food evil? I go there every morning and a person says, yes, human meat. And
That's bullshit.
this is what people are saying about a lot of these places, because where are they getting all the beef from? Each McDonald's sells like so many tons of beef a day,
Yeah.
and there's only so many cattle out there. Where are you got to think the farming industry? Yes, it produces a lot of cattle, a lot of beef, but there's no way that they're getting this many cattle to every single day. People are eating burgers like this. It just makes no sense.
I guess it does. Yes, it does. We're talking about some crazy Christian beliefs, Dark Shadow Wolf. So we're talking about this. So let's get into it, shall we? Apparently we're supposed to be talking about you at some point. What did you do, dude? Shadow Wolf, what the hell did you do to piss people off? I don't know what you did to piss people off, dude, but apparently Perry says that you did some shit. So I don't know what the fuck you did, man. Sorry for my language. I don't know what the hell you did, man. What the hell did you do? To be fair, what did you do to tick people off, dude? Anyway, back to this thing, though. Okay, so back to that conspiracy thing. Oh, that's right. You were stalking Lacey. Oh, get the hell out of here, man. Yeah, we should do an investigation on you, dude, at some point, and have a chat about you, and maybe I should actually have a chat with you, dude, about nobody owns no one, right? Even if you have a girlfriend or something like that, you don't own them, dude. And if you're a fan of someone, just a fan, you don't own the person either. So, I mean, that'd be like me saying, because I'm a fan of Lacey and I'm a fan of, what was it? Zay Zooted. You think I'm saying that, go around saying they're my woman? Absolutely not. I'm a fan of theirs. I love them and I care about them, but I'm not going to go around and start talking shit. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, we'll have to talk to this dude at some point. Hey, dude, how about we do it? If you want to come up on panel sometime, we can have a chat about some of this stuff, and Perry can get some of the screenshots and stuff, and we can have a chat about them and have a discussion. Would you like that, Dark Shadow? Have a chat about some of your behavior that's a little bit out of place, and we can discuss it. I'll be glad to discuss it with you at some point. I'm glad we can discuss it with this dude and see why he's doing that. Yeah. We'll do that at some other point. So lock it in. We'll probably do that. I don't know. Maybe next time I go live, we can cover that. So yeah, you can send me all the stuff you want on this dude, Perry, and we can have a chat with him about it. Anyway, back to this dude though. So the whole concept about that. Yes, it is about. Yeah, as I'm saying, we're gonna have a chat about some of the stuff about what's going on. Because I want to know what's going on with you, dude. Anyway, we'll talk to this dude at some other point, okay? Okay, but back to this one. We're talking about, let's get back to this theory. So the theory about this thing here is, we're talking about, again, about these burger patties. Now, some people, like I said, they're saying there's not enough burgers. You do realize that America is a big place, okay? And if you want to, we also have not only America who does in cattle, we have Australia, hence my cattleman's hat here. They're Cobra. So again, Australia does develop in cows. We do have America that does cows. I'm pretty sure even around Europe and stuff like that, we also talk about cows as well. So haven't you heard of dude? Bring him up here. Bring this dude up here. Let's put a side by side for a second. Let's put a side. Can we do side by side? No. Yes. No. Can we do a side by side? No, guess we can't. So, there we go. Close enough. So this dude here, what's his name? Marcus. Dude. Have you not heard this dude over here called Marcus? Have you not heard of Marcus? Imports. Yeah. Meat can be imported, okay? So even if there's not enough meat in America to keep on making burgers, they can get some imports from Australia, Canada, all the way up in Brazil, and so cattle is everywhere, dude. Cows are everywhere. So if you start the idea of actually having some of that stuff, no, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna have to have a discussion about what's going on with you, dude. I'd love to have a discussion with you about what's going on, because people are calling you a stalker and harasser of Lacey and stuff like that. I want to find out what your thoughts are about that, dude. So we'll get into you, dude, at some point. But let's get back to this specific situation, guys. We're getting off track. Perry, Dark Shadow, we're getting off track. Let's get back to the main track, which is about what this is about here. Okay. So this is what Marcus is saying, according to the conspiracy theory, that, again, the conspiracy theory is that there's not enough beef patty cow meat out there to create burgers, right? But here's the kicker. Yes, there is. If you get imports from other different countries, from Brazil, from New Zealand, from America, from, Canada, and then even Australia, there's a lot of beef imports, right? So, of course, there'll be enough meat to go around to make patties, okay? That's where the meat's coming from. It's coming from imports, not just from America alone. Hence how you guys can have so many ground-up beef patties. It's not because you actually secretly you're breeding up humans to be harvested and turned into meat burgers. No, that's not how it goes. Oh, this is so stupid. Anyway, let's continue, shall we? Ready? Let's get back into it, shall we? Oh, come on. Stupid thing. There. There. Right, let's continue.
And they're saying that all these missing people are going to the burger places.
No.
Now, do with that what you will, but I want to share this video as well.
That's bull crap.
We found a petrified giant.
Yeah.
Tell me that's not a fist.
Yeah.
Yep, pretty sure. Pretty sure.
This one?
Dude, give him a fist pump. Nice.
Now, first and foremost, haven't you heard of the thing called pareidolia? Pareidolia is where rocks, clouds, and things look like something that they're not. We already had, up on Mars, we had a mountain range that looked like a face, up on Mars. We had a mountain range that looked like a face. So, and clouds. Are you telling me, dude, that clouds where we see elephants and dinosaurs and all sorts of things flying in basically the clouds that look like animals, are you saying that's the spirits of those dead animals or some shit? Get the fuck out. Sorry, get the hell out of here, man. This is bull crap. I'm sorry. You're full of crap. And to say that this actually thing here, again, haven't you also heard of statues? How do we know that someone didn't actually carve that stone to even look like a fist, dude? A lot of carvings of statues and things like that can actually be done as well. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not into this whole mud fossil science to say that all these are fossilized remains of giants. I'm sorry. I'm not in for that. I don't believe that.
We found.
Now, we see a lot of this type of stuff lately, where these giant structures, these mountains are looking like the Titans or like the Nephilim or just some type of a giant form.
So this is what they mean when they say the Nephilim or clowns. So bottom left hand corner is a Nephilim. This is Paracus skulls, the elongated skulls. You probably know them as the tarot, not to be confused with the darrow. Probably know them as the tarot.
Hold up. Like the
Nephilim or clowns.
Hold up. Okay, that's one of your generic clowns. That's supposed to be a Nephilim right there. Hold up, we don't even have the no, that's not a Nephilim. That is actually a part of the Aztec or Mayan people who elongated their skulls, part of their habitual rituals to elongate their skulls. Okay, That is not a Nephilim. That's actually I think it's either Aztec or Mayan tribe person wearing that face paint. Okay, that's not really a resemble of actually a Nephilim. Okay, elongated skulls was actually just a part of a practice that they did for millions of years, all right, or even 1,000 years. You know, the concept of elongating one's skull to supposed to be part of like a beauty treatment, I believe. They thought the elongated skulls was beautiful, or some shit like that. I don't know. But anyway, continue.
So bottom left hand corner is a Nephilim. This is Brachus skulls, the elongated skulls. You probably know them as the Tarot, not to be confused with the Darrow.
Oh God!
But yeah, this race of giants, anywhere from 7 to 15 feet tall, with elongated skull. This may be the ancestor of the Incans and the Incan Empire, but they're located in Peru.
See, you said right there that paintwork and stuff, that's Incan, right? Aztec and Mayan and Incan peoples did elongate their skulls. That was the way they were doing that stuff. That's not Nephilim stuff. That's actually humans that were doing that to other humans. Oh my God. Anyway, continue.
In the Incan Empire, but they're located in Peru. And this is also going to be the people associated with the Nazca lines. Now, you do have red-headed giants in the Americas, and it's actually quite popular that in Central America and even parts of southeastern part of America, and even in the Northeast, we hear about people with elongated skull. And so when you hear Nephilim are clowns, this is what they're talking about. So you got the red hair, right? Ronald McDonald, red hair. You got the pale skin, right? You hear lots about stories, lots of white Indians.
Okay. Let's break this down, dude. First and foremost, there's some of those are from Australia, some of those religious things, but again, take note, dude, that the red hair is not necessarily anything. It's just the way things are, okay? And you can't do that. Otherwise, are you saying that everyone who has red or ginger hair are we all demons, are we, sir? Look at me. Am I a total reprobate of what it means to be a redhead? And am I demonic? No. I'm crazy, but I'm not stupid. You know, I'm not demonic, okay? And neither any of these guys. Anyone who's orange or redheads are not demonic. So you say that all these guys, all these representations of spirits and things having red hair, you got to understand that maybe that's the only kind of color they also had, a pigment they had at the time. In reality, that could have been orange, they could have been yellow, they could have been any kind of actual color, but they may have not had any pigment to show those colors, so they just went with the next closest color, which could be this reddish orange, for example. But anyway, continue.
Pale skinned Indians, red-headed giants, right? Gingers.
Yeah.
Also, the red nose and the red lips signifies the cannibalism.
No, it doesn't.
Right? Because they're man-eaters. Also, New York giant.
No, that's not what it represents, dude. That's bullshit. The reason why clowns have red lips, as I already specified, is because it's supposed to sign of someone who's drunk. The red nose and the red lips are supposed to be a sign of someone who's drunk. You know, where all the blood is rushing to their lips and to their nose. Okay? But anyway, continue.
It's Mohawk giants. I'm not saying Mohawks got red hair, but you know what I mean. But yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Go ahead and give this a share. And thanks for watching.
Rightio.
So there's two ways it's done by most of these cultures. Either they dress like something in order to channel that thing and gain something from it for the tribe. Either a shaman is allocated to do this specifically within a tribe, or it's a free-for-all and anybody and everybody can all do it at once. It really doesn't matter. The end goal is the same. It's to channel the entity. And what they often dress like in all these different cultures, as I've shown in my series, is they have a very similar thread weaving through. And it's usually they white the skin up with some kind of chalk or paint. They add red lines or patterns or polka dots to the skin. They put on some kind of red feathered headdress or anything to make the hair look dark or red, or some kind of multicolored. A huge golden crown with many embellishments all over it is common as well. And they wear extremely colorful psychedelic clothing. Now, what I've pretty much described there is a clown by a Western standard, but they all have their own stylistic, aesthetical differences, culturally relevant to each individual area. So, they're talking about the same creatures they call ancestor spirits, because what they're referring to is not ancestors as we with the English language would consider that word to be. That's just kind of the only word we have for it, but it's not really what they mean. They don't mean grandma or granddad or your great uncles and aunties from the 1800s or something like that. They mean the ancient ones, the ones who built their culture and civilization that go way back, the ones who built everything that they consider their worldview or structure, the creators of their reality, the Nephilim, the ancient kings and rulers, the only spirits, as I explained earlier, that are actually on the other side for them to channel, the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim from the biblical perspective.
Yeah, man, this stuff is crazy. And the Bible mentions the Nephilim. The Bible mentions these giant creatures when they were going to scope out the land that God told them to go and to possess after they were in the wilderness.
Did you guys know?
No, wrong. Wrong. I have to stop you right there, dude. Marcus. Wrong. The actual ones that were in the giants were the Canaanites, right? When they were walking into the land of Canaan, they saw those giant, grapes the size of like a giant ball, giant grapes, and stuff like that. And that was the Canaanites. And again, back to those other guys as well, the Philistines, yeah? The Canaanites, the Philistines, they were giant people, right? They were not Nephilim. They were just giant people, okay? They were not, in the Bible, they are not, the Philistines and the Canaanites are not called Nephilim, okay? Nephilim was referred to an old, ancient race of people where they won't call them angels or God's people, because that's what I thought they were, God's actual people, that God killed his own people, his actual people. I think the Nephilim is what race God came from. That's my personal opinion. I have no evidence for this, and I'd love to find evidence for this, but for the moment, I normally say that the Nephilim is God's race. That's where God came from. That's my personal opinion, but that's up for interpretation. But according to some people believe, the Nephilim are a group of angels that fell from heaven and had intercourse with women on earth, okay? And that's what bred forth the giants, okay? But they themselves are supposed to be descendants of the Nephilim or descendants of these human hybrid things. They're not supposed to be Nephilim themselves. They're supposed to be descended from them, okay? That's not what the Bible teaches, that they themselves are Nephilim, okay? They're not the Nephilim, okay? Oh, that's not... I hate when people don't talk biblical sense. But anyway, let's continue.
Abraham Lincoln admitted the existence of giants / Nephilim. I am dumbfounded. Like, y'all, I was today years old and this.
Well, I absolutely don't like Abraham Lincoln. He was the first American terrorist that won the war. But anyway, continue.
This is how I know it to be fact. This is literally a direct quote that came from a speech he gave in 1848. Eyes of that species of extinct giant whose bones fill the mountains of America have gazed on Niagara as our eyes do now. Like, he's literally...
Oh, that goes to show that if that's real, mind you. But if it is, it proves how kookily and mentally retarded Abraham Lincoln was. Anyway, continue.
Bro, it's crazy. This solidifies the idea of petrified giant. Like, look at... I'm literally getting goosebumps. Look at the rocks and mountains around us and how they resemble the human body so much.
pareidolia.
This only further proves that the Bible is nothing but fact. The flood of Noah happened and giants existed. We are literally living.
Yes, but not in the context you think. Okay. Yes, there are giant people like myself. I'm a giant person. I'm 6'4". Okay, I'm a giant person. Yes, giant people do exist, but they don't look like the Titans from Attack on Titan. That's not the way giants look. Okay, and trying to put that sort of spin on the Attack on Titans, the giant Titan monster giants, humanoid-looking giant things into reality. That's not how that works. Again, as I specified before, clouds, mountain ranges, things that we as humans can signify as looking like a face may not be a face at all, okay? Or it might be a carving or an image, right? Like something, I think, here we go. Here's an example. Tasmanian tiger here, right? There's this little sculpture of the Tasmanian tiger. Now, you could say, is that a fossil of a Tasmanian tiger? Ooh, no, it's not. It's a plastic cast representation of what a Tasmanian tiger looks like. But was it actually a real Tasmanian tiger? No, it was a cast mold of a Tasmanian tiger. It's things like this. Things may look, even this little action figure of this guy here, like this little bloke action figure, right? He's not really a human, right? He's just a representation or a facsimile made out of molten plastic, right? He's not a real person. So things that may look like something may only be a carving or representation of that object, or it's pareidolia, things that we think look like something and it may not be that thing as well. Pareidolia plays in our mind because I think some people say it's an evolution thing where we are evolutionary designed to look for human features in the face of actual people, because we're trying to look for something that we can associate with. And so the first things we look for is eyes, mouth, nose, ears, and we establish that as something we look for, part of the whole pareidolia, or something that we can recognize. It's almost like a comfort, if you will. Some people say it's part of evolution. Some people might even stipulate it might be part of like a God. When God gave us imaginations to imagine these things, to imagine animals in the clouds or whatever, It's imagination 9 times out of 10 when it comes to pareidolia, because we have that ingrained in our head to look for things that look familiar to us, to try and look for some familiarity, so we don't get scared or freaked out by things. I believe that's the way it's supposed to be. Anyway, let's continue.
Being in a graveyard of the Nephilim that existed during the flood. And I got some more tea for y'all. So I was talking to my dad and he told me something so crazy. So do y'all ever think about where demons came from? And yes, I'm saying demons for once in a video. Don't come for me. I know there's life and death in the tongue, but I'm going to be talking about it a lot. So I got to say it. I always thought that demons were just the fallen angels and I left it at that. But yesterday, my dad told me that demons are actually the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim that died. And I was like, okay, how do you know this? I'm going to blow your mind right now. So you guys know how...
That's bull crap. That is absolute bull crap. No. That's bull crap, lady. I'm sorry. Your dad's lying out of his ass to you, darling. I'm sorry. He's full of bull crap. And if he's a Christian man or if he's another religious person who believes this crap, I'm sorry, it's crap. Okay? There's nothing in the Bible to back that claim. There's nothing in other religious texts to back up that claim to state that the Nephilim were basically the demons are the deceased Nephilim. That's bullcrap. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. Never been in the Bible. It's never been in other religious texts. That's not a thing. But okay, here's another thing too. The Nephilim had physical form, yeah? Okay, let me explain something to you. According to biblical context, angels, demons, and even God himself does not have like a distinct human form. Yes, they can form into humans, but that's not their true natural state, and that's not their true natural form. It's not their natural form of existence. I'll explain that in a second. And that comes from this Bible verse here. So to say that angels and demons, even God has a actual physical body, no. Not into our knowledge and our understanding of what physical means. You want to know why? Because it says right here in Ephesians, right? I'm pulling that up right now. Right here in Ephesians. Boom. If anyone wants to follow along, let's read this verse right here. Right here, this verse right here points out that again, angels, demons, Satan, God, they don't have a distinct physical form in their natural state. This verse proves this. It says, for we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the principalities and against the powers and against the rulers of this darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. Again, pointing out that, even it says, even also, here's another thing about that. It says that, the demons and Satan can come into heavenly places like churches and stuff like that, which goes back to a point saying that when I said that once before, that yes, demons can infiltrate churches. Yes, they can. The churches are not a spiritual safety zone. And that verse also backs that up as well. So, yeah, we're not fighting against flesh and blood, but against the powers and principalities of darkness, right? And what do you think demons are? Powers and principalities of darkness, and the rulers, and the rulers of darkness of this age. So, yeah, that sounds like Satan being ruler of earth. So there you go. So to say that demons, angels, God, and Satan have an actual technical physical presence in their natural state, being on this side, yeah, they might have. But when they go back to heaven and in the spiritual realm of heaven and hell, they have no distinct physical forms. Demons, angels, God, Satan, they don't specifically have a proper physical form in their supernatural state. And that's pretty much what it says right there in that Bible verse. We're fighting against powers and principalities of darkness. We don't fight against flesh and blood. So to say that there is a flesh and blood component to some of these people, these angels and demons, no, there's not been a fossil of a. Get this, there's been no known fossil of an angel or a demon. While yes, there has been cases where people have had strange growths coming from their head that resemble horns. That's just a natural thing that happens. It's like a cartilage growth, right? It's not actually a person who's actually a demon with a person with horns on their head being a demonic thing. No, it's not. It's actually a growth that's growing out of their head. And there's not been, but they have also those guys who have been found, the skulls that have been found with horns on their head. They're not demons. They're actually humans that have actually had horns growing out of their heads, and that's from like a callus or a growth coming out of their head, which some people still have this to this day, and they have to have them cut off. But that being said, no, demons, angels, demons don't have a physical form in their natural state, and that's what that verse implies, that they don't actually have a physical manifestation in their natural state. Because we're not fighting against we're not fighting against flesh and blood. We're fighting against the powers and principalities of darkness. So that's pretty much demons in a nutshell. So again, you guys are wrong. Continue. Where are we? Get rid of that one. Where are we? There. I think I've lost the. Oh no, there it is. Got it.
When an exorcism is happening, and usually you can see in the movies that whenever somebody is possessed, they gain like super strength to the point that God has to be involved to tame them. And even sometimes,
not always the case, but does happen.
Then it's a struggle. The reason why they have super strength is because they are the spirits of the Nephilim.
No. Wrong! Wrong, darling. That's not biblical. No! The reason why demons are more powerful when they possess somebody is because they're a manifestation of a whole clump of demons coming together to form into one massive demon that possesses one human. Because it takes a lot of energy to merge one spirit with another person's spirit. It takes a lot of energy to go poof and possess someone. It takes a lot of energy for those demonic entities and those spiritual beings to actually possess someone. It takes a lot of energy to do it. That's the reason why there's more than normally, in most cases, there's more than one demon that's attached to that demon that goes smack into that person and possesses that person. The reason why there's supernatural strength when it comes to being possessed by a demon is because there's more than one demon in that person. Example comes from that, comes from a biblical perspective when Jesus was out there, walking, and this really wild man comes out, runs out from the graves. And then Jesus asked the demons, "What is your name?" And the demon said, "We are legion, for we are many," meaning there was more than one demon in that man. You understand what I'm saying? So and then Jesus cast all the demons from that one man into the pigs, and they jumped off a cliff. So again, the reason why someone gets a spiritual strength is because it's normally more than one demon that attaches itself to another demon. They collab together. It's like a collab, if you will, or a team up or a collab with demons. More than one demon comes with one demon, and when it comes to possession, because it takes a lot of strength to try to possess someone. Come into this first of all, it takes a lot of energy to come into this reality, to this dimension, then to merge themselves with another person in of this dimension. Possession takes a lot of energy for those demons and those spirits to do. It takes a lot of energy to do it. So once they actually do achieve that, they need to have to sustain that possession. There needs to be more than one of them there. In most cases, that's the reason why you have that supernatural strength from a demon, is because there's more than one there. It's not just one demon doing the stuff, it's more than one. That's the reason why when people are casting out demons, it's very tricky to cast one demon out, because it could be more than one demon in that one person. That's the reason why it's when it comes to casting out demons, it's kind of risky, because when you're casting out one demon, there could be another 2 or 3 hiding behind that one, or masking behind that one demon. There could be one massive demon that's causing all those other things to manifest. It's not just one demon per se. There could be multiple different demons manifesting themselves into one super demon that takes over someone and stuff like that. So no, a lot of the demonic strength comes from more than one demon. Multiple demons in the one person. That's where the supernatural strength from. It's not from Nephilim. Sorry, that's not a thing.
In fact, were stronger than their fathers, fallen angels. That is why God had to wipe them off the earth.
Wrong, because I'll tell you why that's also wrong. Because if you also remember, that's another thing where we're wrong. Are you saying Samson was a Nephilim? Are you saying Samson was a Nephilim? Or say Hercules was a Nephilim, which is what basically Samson was based on Hercules. So if we go down that road, the fact about supernatural strength is Hercules or / Samson a Nephilim. No, he isn't, and he was about 6'8", I believe. I could be wrong. I think he was about 6'8". Samson. I have to look that up and see if they actually tell him how high he was. But I think he wasn't actually as tall as a Nephilim. He was normal human size compared to what Nephilim's supposed to be. So again, and he was supposed to be one of God's chosen people. God chose Samson to raise hell on some of those other people around, those nations around. But anyway, continue.
Because they were a species that were growing and getting stronger at a terrifying rate. Not to mention,
no.
If we look in the book of Enoch, we can see that the fallen angels and the Nephilim were working on mixing DNA and creating hybrid creatures.
No. The hybrid creature was the idea of experimenting with human DNA, which was when they were banging them. No, that was just that's just to keep their lineage going, or just experimentation to see what it would be like to be intimate with humans. It was more to do with an experimentation with humans as a whole, not actually experimenting with their DNA, but mainly experimenting with is their species compatible to ours. That's the concept. But again, no, they did not experiment with hybrid creatures. In fact, God is the one who actually created hybrid creatures. So if we look at the angels, there's an angel with 10 eyes and 10 wings and stuff like that, according to scriptures. So if you want to talk about people creating hybrids, God was the one who's creating hybrids, not the Nephilim.
Like, it was just all around messed up. Now let's talk about Himalayan salt.
Oh, here we go. Here we go again. Pink Himalayan salt. Here we go again. The remnants, the bloody remains of the Nephilim. Get the hell out of here with that bullshit. All right. Let's get back into it. What are you going to say about it, darling?
I have been hearing all over that Himalayan salt is actually petrified giants because it comes from caves that look like this, strangely resemble muscle tissue of a human. Now, these caves are located in Pakistan. The fact that it's called Himalayan salt.
Mm-hmm. Do you realize this amount? Even if we go with the fact that these massive salt mines look like that. First of all, this is not actually a salt mine, because you can see there's actually concrete, basically bricks on the floor. So this is not actually a Himalayan. This is not actually a salt cave. This is probably some other thing that resembles a salt cave or something like that. I'm not sure if it's actually what you're talking about, because it's got a concrete brick floor, darling. If this was actually the salt mine, that would be all dust and dirt on the floor, not bricks, okay, for starters. So we don't even know where this actually is. But that's not, again, that's not meat, that's not flesh, that's actually just stone, okay? But anyway, it's either stone or it might be pink Himalayan salt, but it also might just be stone, because there is actually, there's even a stone called a meat stone that actually looks like that too. But anyway, continue.
Is what people are confused about. And they're saying that it's actually in the name Himalayan, like Himalayan on the ground. Now, I don't know, that sounds kind of funny to me, like more of a joke than fact. But if you think about it, it kind of makes sense. I was reading the book of Enoch last night, guys, and it's...
No. Himalayan comes from the name of the mountains of Himalaya, okay? Himalaya is actually a country that has nothing to do with the Himalaya. No. Himalaya is actually up there in Alaska and stuff like that, as far as if I remember correctly. So it's not, no, Himalayas are not, it's not, there's actually, it's Himalaya on the ground. No, that is a joke. It's bullshit. You're saying that's supposed to be tying into making jokes into a scientific fact. That's not a thing.
It's literally crazy. Like, I am trying to get as much biblical knowledge as I can.
And yet you're really, sorry with my vulgar point of language, but you're really screwing up here, darling, with that. May I say you're effing it up, darling.
To cross-check everything before I make videos on it, but trust me.
Well, you didn't do it with this one. Sorry to say.
It's coming. Make sure you like and follow if you like this content.
So one thing I do want to say, and this upsets people all the time. While the Book of Enoch has some properties and principles and there's a place for it, we also have to remember that it is not canon scripture, right? So glean from it what you can, but don't make it where you build your doctrine around it, right? And people hate to hear that, but I'm sorry, guys. I'm not here.
Hey, hang on. What do you mean it's not canon? What do you mean? Uh, as far as I thought, the Book of Enoch was in the Old Testament. Okay, let's have a look at the books. So I'm pretty sure Enoch was part of the Old Testament. Yeah. So, I thought it was part of the canon. Yeah, because Enoch was in Genesis. He was around about. He shows up in the book of Genesis. So technically speaking, it isn't canon if you want to get down to it. It's part of. It got reformed from its own specific book and was put into the book of Genesis. If you want to get technical, because Enoch came within the genealogy of Adam and Eve. Yeah. So technically it is still canon, but it's more up in par with Genesis than the book of Genesis. If you want to get more technical.
Well, you can do whatever you want to do, right? But you got to remember that it's not in the Bible for a reason. Let me show you this comment right here. This person right here says the Book of Enoch is so good, I feel as though everyone should read it. And this person right here says, good read, but remember to separate it from the Bible because these stories were from someone who knew Enoch. They weren't right from Enoch like the stories in the Bible are straight from the prophets. So they said, thank you, because I forgot to mention that part. So while there's
comment down below what y'all think.
So while there's value in this information coming from the Book of Enoch, we also have to remember that it's not canon scripture. But nonetheless, I've ended up down this Nephilim rabbit hole, guys, and I found out much more information than I expected to.
Note, these warning signs were never supposed to come out, as experts are not only finding 7 feet tall biblical end times creatures emerging now, but our last days before Armageddon is here. Scientists were terrified and turning pale white after discovering Gilgamesh's 17 feet tall tomb by the Euphrates River. With them warning, not only has Gilgamesh seemingly been put there with the 4 angels, but when they wake up, it will not be good.
I just wanted to have a look here at the okay, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers. I thought Enoch came in here somewhere in the Old Testament. Okay, so Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, 1 Kings, 2 Kings, 1 Chronicles, 2 Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and Song of Solomon. Okay. So, okay. So yeah, technically he is correct that the actual, I thought the Book of Enoch was actually canon to the Bible. Apparently it's not. Okay, fair enough. I thought it was in the Old Testament, but apparently it's not. Even though there are references to Enoch in, like I said, in Genesis. So maybe some of that stuff might be in Genesis. I don't know. But as far as I'm aware of, the Book of Enoch is not in the actual literal sense of the Old Testament. Even though I thought it was supposed to be, apparently it's not. Okay. Learned something new today.
For us, biblical verses claim the Nephilim and the angels often coexisted, with the prophecy in Revelation 9:14 through 15 cautioning us that Gilgamesh, a Nephilim, is protecting the 4 angels bounded by the Euphrates River. And when he and them wake up, a third of mankind will be taken. But it gets worse, as reports show the tomb having a Nephilim-like body perfectly preserved with the face still recognizable. And the U.S. has been trying to wake it up for years. This discovery was found in Iraq by the river in early March of 2003.
That could be a hoax. Or could be a movie thing. There's no guarantees that that was actually legit. But anyway, continue.
Which just weeks later, the U.S. invaded Iraq, with the BBC claiming the U.S. was searching for weapons of mass destruction or just one weapon. The tomb currently remains sealed by the river and can emerge as the river dries up. But do you believe any of this?
Okay, so this whole Gilgamesh thing, right? This is some newer information to me, at least. I just started hearing about the tomb of Gilgamesh even about Gilgamesh in the first place about a year ago, right? And this stuff right here is just crazy. 17 foot tall, right? But regardless of any of this stuff, guys, we do see in the Bible where the Nephilim were. I didn't know anything about the Gilgamesh and the four angels at the Euphrates being connected, but from what I'm gathering, that's strictly a Book of Enoch thing. But I don't know, guys. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know down below in the comment section. Do you think Nephilim were clowns? Do you think that Nephilim are pink Himalayan sea salt?
Absolutely not. That's bullcrap.
I'd like to hear your thoughts on this in the comment section. That's going to do it for this one. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Until then, God bless.
Later. But no, absolutely not. Pink Himalayan. This stuff here is not remnants of Nephilim. That's not a thing. Pink Himalayan salt is just that, salt, okay? And again, back to the whole thing where I was talking about before when it comes to things. It says in Scripture, I'll state again, the same Bible verse we stated again, Ephesians 6:2. It says, we wrestle not against powers and principalities of flesh and blood. So again, back to this whole precipice of saying that angels and demons can have a physical body and physical form. Yeah, it can manifest a physical form, but it's not their true natural state. Their true natural state is not in the physical realms. Hence, this scripture here that says we're fighting not against flesh and blood, but powers and principalities of darkness. That's what it's saying right here in this Bible verse, darling. That's what it says. It straight up says right here, again, that we fight not against the powers of principalities of darkness, but we fight against not against flesh. We're not fighting against flesh. We're fighting against about the darkness of this age. You know, the darkness, dare I say, demonic energy. You know, the dark side. You know, the evil stuff. You know, that's what we're fighting against. It's not really specifically a flesh and blood person we're fighting against, or physical forms we're fighting against. It's more to do with the dark. You know, Satan and all of his Satan and demons, which clearly state that if they're not flesh and blood. So, well, they can manifest as looking like something that's flesh and blood. They're not really flesh and blood peoples. In the general terms of the word. So there you go. Okay, let's see. So we'll wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. But again, thank you all for being here. Who do we have? What we have here? We have 5 people watching. Hello to the 5 people watching. Thank you for being here. If you want me to cover some more religious topics or other topics, like I said, we're supposed to cover this guy at some point. Let me know if you guys want to hear what he has to say about what's been said. Yeah, I'm not going to allow him on the Discord, but I would love to talk to him here about some of the stuff. But I would like you to send me the stuff on Discord that you got, Perry, about this guy, and maybe we can discuss it with this guy and find out what's going on here. Why is he obsessed with Lacey? What's going on there? You know, it'd be interesting to find out what's going on with this guy. It'll be interesting to find out what's going on with you, dude. You claim that you're being gay-opped, but we don't know what's going on with you, dude. We don't know, Shadow. So hopefully we'll have a chat. Maybe we can do it on live stream, dude. Have a chat and find out what's going on with you. What's the story? But anyway, I think we'll wrap up with a good old heavy metal Christianic song. So here we go. Let's wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. And this is coming. The song is coming from Sanctuarium Metali. Like and subscribe to their channel. And here we go. Catch us all later, people. Later.
Onward, Christian soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. Christ the royal master leads against the foe. Forward into battle, see his banner go. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. At the sign of triumph, Satan's hosts are flee. On then, Christian soldiers, on to victory. Hell's foundations quiver at the shout of praise. Brothers, lift your voices loud, your anthem praise. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. Like a mighty army moves the church of God. Brothers, we are treading where the saints have trod. We are not divided, all one body we, one in hope and doctrine, one in charity. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. Like a mighty army moves the church of God. Brothers, we are treading where the saints have trod. We are not divided, all one body we, one in hope and doctrine, one in charity. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. Onward then, ye people, join our happy throng. Blend with ours your voices in the triumph song. Glory, law, and honor unto Christ the King. This through countless ages, men and angels sing. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. Christian soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before.
Later, all.